Good morning, everyone. On behalf of RIPE NCC and our esteemed speakers, I would like to welcome you to this Day Zero session, Preparing Your Internet to Power the Digital Economy of Tomorrow. My name is Shafiq Shaya. I am the Regional Manager for Public Policy and Government Affairs for the RIPE NCC for the Middle East region. And I will be joined by my colleague Danny Wazin as online moderator from Jordan. Today, this session will seek to unpack a critical but often underemphasized question. How can we ensure that the internet infrastructure is robust enough to support the digital ambition of tomorrow? So the discussion today will be grounded in the belief that technical preparedness is not a luxury, but is a strategic necessity. We'll discuss connectivity, routing security, IPv6, IXPs, RPKI, collaborative policy framework, capacity building, all these issues that create a robust internet ecosystem. Without any further ado, so please let me introduce and welcome our speakers online and on site. We have Mr. Frank Steen from Norway. We have Ms. Sofia Silva Berenger from the NRO. We have Mr. Adiel Aplogon from ICANN. We have Mr. Rodrigue Guagambode from Smart Africa. And we have Mr. Zdravko Jovic from Croatia. Once again, welcome and thank you for my colleague Ilka, who will be the reporter of this session. So I will begin with Mr. Frank. Good morning, and thanks for hosting the IGF in Norway. My first question for you is how the Norway today is addressing the scalability and the security of the internet infrastructure. And we know that you are coming from the regulator from Norway. So we'd like to have your insights to this, kick off this discussion today.
Thank you, Shafiq. Welcome to Norway, everyone. Today we discuss a very critical topic, preparing our internet infrastructure for tomorrow's digital economy. Norway recognizes that a robust digital infrastructure, both fixed and cellular, is crucial for leveraging emerging technology such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and digital services. Firstly, Norway is significantly investing in providing broadband internet to everyone. Today, Norway provides at least 100 megabit per second broadband coverage to 99.1% of households, with a gigabit coverage reaching 96.2%. The ambition is that everyone shall have access to gigabit infrastructure by 2030. 85% of our geographic area has 4G or 5G coverage, and practically all households have immediate access to 5G or 4G connectivity. Our extensive fiber optic infrastructure, complemented by an aggressive 5G rollout, ensures high-speed connectivity, essential for all bandwidth-intensive and latency-sensitive applications of AI and IoT. Secondly, cybersecurity remains paramount. Norway's government has enhanced regulatory frameworks, including aligning with the EU's NIS2 directive and the new Security Act. Additionally, starting August this year, the revised Radio Equipment Directive will mandate rigorous cybersecurity standards for IoT devices such as smartphones, smartwatches, and connected toys. Requirements should also include robust authentication, secure storage, encryption, and secure update mechanisms. The forthcoming Cyber Resilience Act, the CRA, will further strengthen our cybersecurity landscape, ensuring resilient and trustworthy digital products. Thirdly, infrastructure resilience is key. We work in close collaboration with the major network operators to actively strengthening the transmission networks with enhanced network redundancy and ensuring multiple autonomous nationwide transmission networks. Specifically, emphasis is laid down in ensuring that densely populated areas will be served by at least 3 independent transmission networks, providing critical redundancy. Mobile operators are encouraged to diversify their traffic across these networks, significantly boosting reliability. Moreover, proactive spectrum management is crucial in mitigating wireless interference, particularly as IoT adoption expands and our society is increasingly becoming more dependent on wireless communication services, both from land and satellite. By effectively detecting and removing unauthorized devices and signal jammers, the spectrum in Norway maintains clean and dependable wireless communications. And finally, regarding AI regulation, Norway has recently defined clear responsibility among Norwegian Communication Authority, NCOM, Norwegian Digitalization Agency, DIGDIR, and Data Protection Authority, and this collaboration will ensure effective implementation and oversight of the AI Act, fostering responsible AI integration across sectors. So, in conclusion, Norway's approach combining ambitious infrastructure expansion, comprehensive cybersecurity regulation, and robust network resilience and clear regulatory governance for emerging technologies will position us strongly to power tomorrow's digital economy, driving innovation and benefit across our nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frank. Thanks for those insights and remarks. And yeah, this is a good example of how governments with the different stakeholder groups can work hands on hands. Thank you. We'll stay with the governments and with the regulator, and I'll go to Mr. Zdravko from Croatia. So to chain with the same subject, how can agile regulation support internet development in safeguarding the trust and resilience?
Yes, thanks, Shafik. Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, excellent. So you will hear now another regulatory view on this topic. I'm currently at the BEREC. BEREC is the body of European regulators, so all national regulatory authorities are represented there from the European Union, from the candidate countries, and some EEA countries. So in BEREC we have several working groups. One of them is cybersecurity working group, and we recently changed the name of this group to cybersecurity and resilience working group, just to stress the importance of this issue of the resilience. Because normally when you look at the economy and competition from the regulatory point of view, you look at how to motivate market players to cooperate, not to build the double infrastructures, not to duplicate infrastructure, which is the most expensive part of the networks. But when it comes to resilience, there we do exactly the opposite. We try to build some connections that should be used maybe in some emergency situations. So they are not economically, let's say, justified by itself. So this is a really hot topic that at BEREC, Cybersecurity and Resilience Working Group, we will be looking at. We have some really good examples among BEREC members. One of them is Iceland, another one is Norway, our hosts, who have developed some rules. And what we would like to do is to develop some kind of methodology that would be really a set of recommendations on how to balance this issue of what is economically fine for operators to invest and what is safe for a country. because there are several levels of investment. First one is the investment of the operators. They invest network to be optimally, to get the return on their investment as fast as possible, to earn a lot of money. And if they lose some city or village for some time, okay, that's fine for them. But then we have a next level is the level that the regulator would be happy, and then we have another level that probably the national security level that the national security agencies would be happy. So we need to see where to find these balances. So it is also very important to understand, we at BEREC, we are working closely together with the NIS Cooperation Group, which is a group composed of representatives from each European Union member state. So this is a bit a narrower group, just European Union members, European Commission, and the ENISA, the cybersecurity agency in Athens. So this group is crucial because, as you probably know, the national security and cybersecurity is the sole competence of the member states. So it is not possible to develop any kind of mandatory requirements or regulations at the European Union level without consensus of the all member states. So also one important point, NIS 2 directive. So in Croatia it has been fully transposed. We were one of the first member states to do that. And also 5G Toolbox is also a good example of this cooperation at the European level, how to develop something that each member state can apply in its national market, so that you have a solution which is flexible, which is agreed by all, and which can be modified for national situation. One also important topic is the trusted vendor issue, and there, as regulatory authorities, we can only help other authorities in each member state, like national security agencies, when they do the assessments of which equipment is safe in the national market. So I think that would be to start our panel, all from my side for now. Thanks.
Thank you so much. This is a lot to digest. We know that EU is busy with all this regulation and policies, and you mentioned a lot of interesting topics and issues: balance, collaboration, agile regulation. So yeah, this will be a good start to see or to chain with other stakeholder group, the technical community, with our colleague Sofia from the Number Resource Organization, the organization which coordinate the joint activity between the 5 RIRs. Sofia, you are with us? We can't hear you. Can you speak? Still, I can't hear Sofia. So, awaiting to fix this technical issue, I will stay with the technical community, but with the ICANN, with our colleague Mr. Adiel. So, Mr. Adiel, to chain with what Mr. Frank and Mr. Zdravko mentioned now, what role does ICANN see for this collaboration with governments and other stakeholders in fostering connectivity and in encouraging the agile regulation and policies?
Thank you very much for the question.
No sound, please. Control room. We can't hear Mr. Adiel. Can you speak? No.
So thank you again for the question. So the short answer first is that, yeah, the multi-stakeholder model is critical for sustaining. Yeah, okay. Yeah, for a stable, secure, and resilient internet infrastructure globally. For us, we can say that because, as you know, one of the critical mission that ICANN has is to coordinate the unique identifier system globally, including the DNS. And the multi-stakeholder model has been at the center of that coordination. And the DNS has been operating for more than 40 years, and it has been stable, sustainable, resilient over those years. Which show that when we bring different parties, different actors around the table to discuss issues related to those critical infrastructure, it works. The DNS glue those identifiers together, of course, and ICANN in its operation as a facilitator and coordinator of policy related to those identifiers, and the DNS particularly, use the different constituency it has to identify issues related to the resiliency and the security of the DNS, discuss them, and translate them into policy, then that operators implement or follow voluntarily. So we've seen that it has helped protect that infrastructure globally. The DNS, we usually explain it or define it as a simple, address book, but it's more complex than that. And not only that, over the 40 past years, the DNS has evolved significantly, adding layer of security, privacy, addressing some abuse channels and challenges. But the multi-stakeholder approach has helped work around those issues, being from the IGF where new evolution of the DNS has been developed to be implemented on the base DNS to make it more secure, to add privacy to it, being from its users' perspective or registration perspective by tackling abuse, for instance. All those evolution have been developed through a very wide multi-stakeholder approach. So again, it shows that bringing different parties around complex issue help build solution that does not disrupt the stability of the global infrastructure. That is at the global level. But to go back to the context of the previous intervention, that approach need also to be translated to the local level in how policy are defined locally, because the same complexity apply at the local level. Although the internet is a global network, it's a global network made of small independent networks that are connected and that are operated at the local level. So applying the same multi-stakeholder approach, ensuring that the different parties impacted by the internet in general, but its operation specifically, are around the table to think, to share ideas, and to look at what are the different aspects of implementing or addressing a challenge that can be seen. So we, from ICANN perspective, continue to promote that multi-stakeholder approach in how we address those issues, but also how we engage at the local level with the different operators to ensure that the DNS and the infrastructure in general, the unique identifier operation, remain stable, secure, and resilient.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you so much for these remarks and for highlighting the importance of the multi-stakeholder in working with the governments and regulators to secure the internet infrastructure. So I'll go back to Sophia. Let's see if we have Sophia back online. Can you hear me, Sophia? Sophia? No, we can't hear you. Okay, let me check the online if we are okay. Danny, can you hear me? Danny? Danny, can you hear me? I believe we have a problem with our online colleagues. We can't hear them. I will follow up and maybe check with Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, Smart Africa. Maybe we are lucky. If you can say some words to check the voice. Nope. No. Okay. So I will go back to my esteemed colleagues here and follow up and chain with some discussion with you. I go back to Mr. Frank. So we know that you are coming from the national CERT from Norway. How ECOM CERT is coordinating infrastructure security across public and private sectors?
In Norway, we have a bit strange solutions when it comes to certs with national coverage and responsibility. We have sectorial certs within something like the 15 most important sectors, and they're all coordinated by the national NCSC, the national cert. The reason we're doing that is that we think that the certs need sector-specific knowledge, and they also need to know the sector, and also different sectors are different. So these sectorial certs are also very, very different. But at the same time, we're cooperating the different sectorial certs very closely. One advantage is that we can handle incidents and attacks on a very low level when it's kind of, we don't need to extend it outside a certain sector. So it helps with the scalability. But when attacks or problems are hitting multiple sectors, they will then work together. And of course, it's also very important that the different sectorial certs work together. So we're doing that online more or less all the time. When critical incidents is happening, we need to escalate, then typically the national cert will take lead and get support from these sectorial certs with all their knowledge and competence about different sectors. So we think that this combination really helps us to combine the private and the public sectors, as well as important government functions, and it really enables us to handle sophisticated threat actors and sophisticated threats. So this is how we're doing it here.
Perfect, thank you. And this is how it should be done in collaboration with, once again, as you as a regulator, with the other stakeholder group that you are working with. Yeah. Going to Croatia, the same question, but I want to just reframe it. Can you give us some examples how this works on the ground?
One of the examples could be, for example, yes, the situation where you have emergency situation and some network is down, like there was a situation with big floods in neighboring Slovenia, I think 2 years back, and then it was very important to enable national roaming for all subscribers in the country, because then you can combine all the parts of the network that are still operating, and it is crucial, can be life-saving in such situations. So I think we need to have such mechanisms for emergency situations. It is always this that you have to build something for event that happens very rarely but has a huge impact. and then we need to plan in advance and have good measures and tools to deal with that.
Thank you. We know that this, I would say, the awareness is, can come from the end users, and then this awareness can be encouraged and can be put by the regulators. Is there any collaboration or any, let's say, education or webinars with the Croatian population or with the Croatian community or society?
Yes, indeed, we have a lot of such actions in Croatia together with our partners, with the Croatian Academic Network, with the police, with the Ministry of Interior, and we give courses really even from HACOM, from the national regulator, regularly to schools, to primary schools, to secondary schools, and to local governments in different counties in Croatia. Because as you said, it is very important to have this broad awareness, and not just among experts and people working at the operators, and they know it is their work, it is their job, but also among the general populations and the users of the electronic communications services.
Thank you. I will take this and go to Sofia. Sofia, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thanks. Thank you. So once again, Sofia is from the Number Resource Organization, the organization that coordinate the activities of the 5 RIRs. And my question for Sofia is, we are talking about security, about resilience. So what you can tell us on the NRO global collaboration on routing security on RPKI, and how this works with governments?
Thank you, Tafik. So I would like to start by setting the context about why it's necessary to secure the internet routing before I can introduce what RPKI is. As Adiel mentioned, the internet is a network of networks, and BGP, Border Gateway Protocol, is the protocol used by those networks to decide where to send the traffic in order for it to reach its destination. And the way that networks learn where other networks are is through BGP announcements. The thing is that this protocol, BGP, was not designed with security in mind. So there is a need for a layer of security to be added on top to ensure that the traffic reaches its intended destination and that all the systems in the digital economy of today that rely on the internet can still working. So RPKI, which stands for Resource Public Key Infrastructure, adds that missing piece of security, and it does that by allowing that prefix holders issue cryptographically verifiable statements on the route intentions, and then that information can be used by the routers that receive BGP announcements to verify whether those announcements are legitimate. And so this allows to stop routing issues and stop that routing is redirected or intercepted. RPKI was standardized more than 10 years ago, and it is available through each RIR region in the world. However, many organizations have yet to adopt and deploy this technology. A few weeks ago, when I checked statistics, around 50 to 60% of the unique prefix origin pairs were covered by route origin authorizations. That are the objects in RPKI used to for establishing that route intention on the origin of routes. And then the other side of things that is using that information to verify BGP announcements is what we call route origin validation. And the statistic as of a few weeks ago was that less than 25% of those networks in the internet that we call autonomous systems, less than 25% were fully protected by route origin validation. So as you can see, there's still room for more adoption of the technology to achieve maximum benefit of it. And adoption can be encouraged in different ways, through support, through reputation-based approaches, like, for example, the Manners Initiative, some people may have heard of, through regulation-based approaches, like the White House's roadmap to enhancing routing security. In particular, the RIRs are supporting adoption through providing training, technical support and resources, and also engaging individually with their member organizations, with governments, and with other entities. And in particular, the NRO RPKI program was created to create a space of more structured collaboration across the 5 RIRs on RPKI.
Thank you, Sophia. And yes, I totally agree with you. This, let's say, collaboration and multi-stakeholder between the RIRs and especially governments and operators are paying off. We see the increasing of RPKI deployment and the importance now that this RPKI topic is taking place within the regulator. I will get back to you, but thanks for mentioning Manners, for mentioning RPKI, for mentioning the collaboration. I will go to Mr. Rodriguez, Smart Africa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. Good morning once again. And yeah, what Sophia mentioned about multi-stakeholder and partnerships. So being working or being a member in the Smart Africa, how would this multi-stakeholder partnerships, such those under the Smart Africa, advance the regional infrastructure development?
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you so much for this question. Sorry about this disconnection earlier. I think at Smart Africa, we believe that the multi-stakeholder partnership are the foundation for this inclusive digital development in Africa. We trust on it. And the Alliance currently brings, as you know, 40 countries, 40 member states, representing 1.1 billion African citizens, all committing on the same vision to create a single digital market. One of the flagship we have currently, I wanted to sort out here, is the One Africa Network. Is a project which currently include 11 countries, and this initiative is still ongoing. And this initiative aims to eliminate roaming charge and promote cross-border interconnection. It's jointly developed by regulator, ministries, telcos, and regional economic communities. So this is a real good model on this multi-stakeholder approach, is an example on that. We are also developing a program for a sovereign data center and green data center. This is another one we can give in terms of example, building partnership with private and public sectors and designed to meet environmental standards. These projects, of course, integrate technical, economical, legal, and climate resilience consideration, which are crucial for Africa data sovereignty. So this is another example. All this one is just to tell you that we are putting in the center this multi-stakeholder approach. And of course, currently for the internet governance part, because the internet is the base of everything, we are trying to launch an initiative called CAIGA, the Council of Internet Governance Authorities. This council, we start to build it since 2024. This is a unique mechanism. We wanted to bring the government, regulators, academia, technical experts, and civil society to sort of and to make some action to challenge this internet governance issues across the continent. So these are just 3 examples I just want to give you, and just tell you that in Smart Africa, we are really focused on this multi-stakeholder approach. Thank you.
Thank you so much. these are great examples, and I will come back to you to ask you about how you can balance between the different level of advancement in the African countries. But I'll go to my colleague Danny online. So once again, for our audience on site and online, if you would like to ask any question, please put your question on the chat room or just raise your hand. At the end, we'll have a Q&A session, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So, Danny, any comments, anything we have online? And I leave it for you. I know that you are handling the UNDP activities in the region, and you have announcement, or you can share with us your plans that's related to what we are talking about in this session. For you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shafiq, and it's a pleasure to be on this very esteemed and very important panel to discuss this topic. I see online we have two insights and one question, which is really important. One brought by, the first insight brought by Timothy, and could be a question to the panel. So asking about, would it be good if there is an infrastructure to ensure the communication of the IoTs? So to be able to be managed by the owner of the IoT itself, it could be great if we can have this option. And another question, which is very much related, what are the needed digital skills and what are the essential digital skills in the internet-driven future? So we're talking about all these perspectives and dimensions on how connectivity can prepare for the future. So what are the different skills?
Gentlemen, anyone want to take these questions before I give the floor back to Danny?
Well, I can start with the last one about the skills. I think we will always need people with broad knowledge. My experience from security, as I've already cybersecurity, as you already know, it's important to understand the fundamentals, because internet is really complex, and in order to find weak links when you're kind of putting up a stable, scalable system, is really to understand how this works. And so I think, but at the same time, no one will ever be able to understand everything. So I think to have specialists in different areas and make those those experts working together will always be very, very important, and probably more important than actually a few people knowing very much. So, well.
Mr. Dravago, please.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Just to continue on this line, so I think not everybody has to be really cybersecurity expert and know all the techniques and how to hack computers and systems, but what is needed for the general population, for general users, to know some basics, because what problems we face in Croatia, in other European member states, I guess everywhere in the world, that people receive simple short message, like the old short message service, and then the message says, this is very important that you type in your credit card number, and they do it. And so some basics should be applied, and everybody should understand what it means and how it's. Then we will resolve, I don't know, maybe 90% of the cases. If a very advanced hacker comes into your system by some backdoor, that is another issue. That is the issue of this company, if they have all the methodologies and all the rules in place, if they are taking their business seriously, because it can happen. We will never have absolute security in any corporation, in any company, but we have to do our best and try to mitigate as much as we can.
Well stated. I think, Adel, I can do a lot in capacity building, so maybe you can share something on this.
Yeah, definitely. We are pretty much engaged on capacity building. I just want to mention as well that there are two challenges in capacity building. There's one about the usage of the internet, right? That is a more broader capacity and awareness that is needed for users to know that, you know, the same cautious that they apply in their real life is also something important to bring into the virtual world, because it's not always clear in the mind of the, and that capacity need to be reinforced. And the second is the operational part, the operating the network, making sure that people who operate the network also develop and gradually increase, particularly coming from developing and emerging nations, beef up their knowledge and expertise on this complex technology in operation, so that to be able as well to have security and resiliency in mind when operating and designing their network. From ICANN perspective, of course, we put a lot of emphasis on that. Last year we have run more than 200 workshop and capacity building activities on technical implementation of best practices around the DNS, particularly for registry. And it is something that we continue doing. And we don't do it at the global level only. We try to bring in a regional flavor to it, because we know that the needs are not the same across all the region, all the country. The challenges are not the same. So we try to translate our engagement to focus on the need that we see in each region, in each country. And what we have seen, you know, bringing more and more positive fruit is to, beyond the capacity building, also providing support to those who are particularly operating those infrastructure that we think are critical for the overall stability, to support them throughout their navigation of implementing those best practices. So it's key to bring that to bridge that gap, but it's also important to us take it from different angle: local, end user, and global.
Thank you. You mentioned a lot of interesting, let's say, words: regional flavor, local capacity building. I go back to Danny with the UNDP and your initiative, which is the main pillar in your initiative that UNDP is now leading, is capacity building and infrastructure development. Can you give us just sum up what you are doing and how you are dealing with what Adiel said, regional flavor?
Yes, thank you very much, Shafiq. Really, indeed, a very interesting insight. So in UNDP, we have, in the Arab region, we have launched recently a new initiative called Digital for Sustainable Development. And as its name says, it's how we can harness the power of digitalization to advance the SDGs agenda in the different countries and to accelerate the achievement of the goals. And what is it about? It's a network of partners with convening partners from government, private sector, public sector, NGOs, academia, experts to come together, brainstorm, and put and develop together impactful projects for the Arab region. And under each goal, like what can we do on digitalization? And the connectivity and infrastructure is really a laying foundation for any digital transformation. We can build the most advanced solutions, but without a secure, safe, inclusive connectivity, we cannot advance. And if we look into our region, the Arab region is one of the least connected among the other regions in the world. 30% of the Arab region, which means more than 100 million, are not connected to the internet. And in order to advance this, we have recently launched 2 initiatives. One of them we are planning now with RIPE and CC as a partnership. So basically, the initiative is about connectivity for digital inclusion, and to address these challenges, we wanted to work on tripartite access. The first one is related to scalability, which means scalable connectivity in order to be more inclusive. Second is allow sustainability for this connectivity through different approach. And thirdly is a safe and secure connectivity. For the pillar 1, we want to promote the adoption of IP version 6 with the mobile telecom operator and other internet providers in the countries by conducting awareness, capacity building, and support the transition of these toward the IP version 6. On the second pillar, in terms of sustainability, we want to promote, as we heard from our colleague on the panel, the IXPs and the role of like this internet exchange points in order to provide less or lower cost, but also reduce the dependence on international links and make further connectivity. And we are planning to support countries as models in the region between UNDP and RIPE NCC. And finally, the RPKI, as we've heard, the security, which is very much important. And we're looking through this initiative to engage further with more partners on launching awareness campaigns and doing the capacity building for the security of the connectivity. So basically, this is a project that literally it will be impactful for the region to increase the connectivity. Another entry point that we are working on for the connectivity and inclusion, digital inclusion, is a new framework, regulatory framework that we are designing with different partners, the GSMA, Ooredoo Mobile Telecom Operator, and others. Is basically how we can give countries a legal framework, digital policies framework that can support the country advancing on their digital economy by investing or designing policies and regulations for the connectivity and for the data centers, and using also the data and AI. So basically, these are like two main or two key interventions that we are planning into the Arab region. And definitely we're looking to engage further with partners in order to implement it in different contexts.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much for this insight. Yes, just I want to highlight here that there are some countries in the Middle East and African region that they don't have yet the basic infrastructure. While here we are discussing AI and Internet of Things and the cloud computing, we still have countries without basic infrastructure. And that's why we are working with the UNDP to just make these countries join the developing countries. So we still have 10 minutes. I see that we have a question, but I will give for each speaker 1 minute to just recap and give me one priority based on the discussion that we have during this session. So, Mr. Frank, your final remark for 1 minute, please.
Yes, I probably should say something about regulation, but my heart is in cybersecurity. So I think we have addressed for a couple of years the need for intelligence and information sharing among peers and among people across borders. And I think we have a way to go in that field. It's improving, everything goes better, but I think still there's lots of work to do to cooperate and share information and intelligence. So that would be my point.
Thank you. Mr. Adiel?
Yeah, I think I will highlight the fact that having a multi-stakeholder approach, bringing different parties around the table to discuss these complex issues are important, not only at the global level, and I will put the emphasis on that. We need to translate those into regional and local level in designing each aspect of regulation or technical design that could impact the global stability of the internet. Capacity building is key. Best practice also are very important. Framing them in the way that people can actually implement them is another key. Sophia mentioned manners. There is also another one for the DNS, which is kindness, which try to bring those best practices in the framework that can be easily be implemented. That will help small operators that don't have the same resources as a bigger one to look at everything and decide what to do, they can have a simple and easy entry point. The third point I want to highlight is a partnership. Beyond the multi-stakeholder approach, partnership between different players is key in helping advance those. We hear about the UNDP and the RIPE NCC partnership. ICANN has the Coalition for Digital Africa, which is also a very broad framework for partnership for the Africa region. Our partnership with UNESCO on IDN and so on and so forth, that are a way to actually mutualize our resources to make sure that what we are preaching and what we are advancing reaches area that one organization alone cannot push. Let's continue strengthening this multi-stakeholder approach, and I think we will all contribute to the stable, resilient, and stable internet globally.
Thank you so much. I believe, yes, we'll have some takeaways from what you said now, but I will give the mic to Mr. Zdrabago.
Yes, from our discussions, it seems like this education for general, let's say, population and users and capacity building for everyone seems to be very, very important. For us regulators, I would like to stress again, we will be very busy now in the coming days and months with this resilience issue and how to build more resilient networks, how to develop this, what I mentioned, methodology, which will enable all national regulators to apply some rules to have more resilient, redundant networks in the end. And also what we can expect some more discussions at the European level on the issue of trusted vendors, something similar to what we had with the 5G toolbox. So development of some technical and strategic measures, agreeing those measures at the union level, and then each member states would apply them according to the national situations and national, let's say, judgments and geopolitical situation. So I think that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. So it's a collaboration between stakeholders and regulators, and collaboration amongst regulators themselves. Sophia, I'll give you the 1 minute for you.
Thank you. I guess from my side, what I would suggest prioritizing is the implementation of best practices. For example, in the space of routing security, to join a program like MANAS, to engage with the RIR for your region and seek support if needed. Also, there's lots of good documents in the space of ITF documenting best practices. We call them BCP, Best Common Practice Documents. Because what we've heard is that sometimes, although technical people may be very convinced of the importance of technologies like API, it's hard to convince non-technical decision makers or even commercial sectors, commercial areas within some organizations, because the benefits may not be evident, may not be immediate. So there is a need, and as the other panelists mentioned, for more capacity building, for more awareness raising. So yeah, any efforts in that space that will help bridge that gap between very technical content and not so technical content, that will allow decision makers to understand the importance of implementing best practices.
Thank you, Sophia. Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you very much. We have a lot of things to say, but
1 minute, please.
we didn't get this change. Okay, 1 minute, sorry. I think that as we are looking for the future, one thing is clear, I think. No single actor can build African digital infrastructure alone. The complexity of the challenge we are facing, connectivity gaps, regulatory fragmentation, climate imperative, and invest risk require a unite, agile, and inclusive approach. This is very important. At Smart Africa, we are committed to turning vision into action by aligning government, the private sector, developing partners, and communities around concrete, high-impact solution. Whether it's truth, it could be truth on One African networks or in data centers, as I already said, harmonized spectrum challenges. We see this partnership, we see the partnership, yes, we see this partnership not as a choice, but a necessity. This is very important. So finally, if we want to prepare our infrastructure for this demand of tomorrow, digital economy, we must invest not only in fiber and data centers, but also in trust, coordination, and local capacity. Let's move forward together with ambition and with purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you for these words. We'll keep it in mind. Sorry for keeping you waiting. We have one question in the room. Please go ahead. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Vinicius Fortuna. I actually work at Google Jigsaw on internet access, resilience, and privacy. And currently, when you use a HTTPS, encrypted HTTP, like your domain name goes in plain text and it leaks. And that's like with the advancement of AI, that's becoming a very serious threat. I actually ran an experiment analyzing my own domain names and put it on LLM and create a profile about me. And it's scary. Like you can tell the person's employer, the health conditions, political associations, religion, sexual preferences, and gender, and all sorts of things. So, and there are two technologies to solve this, like encrypted DNS and encrypted client hello. So I'm wondering, like, what your organizations can do to help promote an adoption of these technologies by online services or the internet service providers.
Thank you so much. As we don't have any more time, I believe we'll take this after the session ends, and I'll be here with my colleagues to answer your question. But I see another question. Please, go ahead. For 30 seconds, please. But be sure that we'll answer your questions after the session.
All right. Thank you. My name is Jacqueline Jijide, and I'm from Malawi. I'm the Pan-African Youth Ambassador on Internet Governance. I'm also a digital inclusion practitioner, as well as a member of Malawi Youth IGF. So my question is basically going straight to you, NDP and Smart Africa. I was following with a very keen interest, more especially on the projects that are underway to bridge the digital divide, especially in the remote areas. Now, most of the projects, when they are being scaled, they are being done in the urban areas. So I would really want to find out what are the policies or the laws that you have put in place to make sure that when you're scaling these things about the projects to do with digital transformation, you are channeling these initiatives to reach to the people that are living in the remote areas, because these are the people that are suffering from the poor infrastructure when it comes to internet. At the same time, even the data cost is very costly, which they cannot manage to access. And at the same time, they are also having the issue to do with the digital gadgets. So that's my question that I would really want to get an answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll once again, I will be here with our panelists to answer your question, and I'll be sure to give you the contact of my colleague Danny Wazen, so you can be in direct contact with him. Once again, thanks again for everyone, for our audience in the room, for our audience online, for our speakers. It was a really interesting discussion. We will have some takeaway and some recommendation, but just to summarize: collaboration, partnership, IPv6, RPKI, manners, DNSSEC should be in the public infrastructure plan. And the last one is long-term investment in capacity building. Once again, thank you so much. And I believe I'm on time. Thank you.